Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. The Lions, despite all of their injuries, dominate. AG called a heck of a game because Minnesota had it so many times. Goal to go in the red zone. And AG said, nah, bro. Y'all ain't gonna get number of field goals. Y'all will not break into our home. So despite all the injuries, the Lions defense turned a masterpiece in, limited the Vikings and that high-powered offense. Pro Bowl wide receiver, Pro Bowl quarterback said no thank you. The reward, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Dan Campbell tells Kevin O'Connell, I'll see you in 2 weeks during the post-game handshake. If Minnesota beats the Rams in L.A. next week, they could potentially be right back here in Detroit for the rematch. Ocho?
Yes, sir.
Jared Goff didn't play his best game. He turned the ball over, but Jahmyr Gibbs ran wild, 23 carries, $139. Three touchdowns. Jared Goff was 27 of 33, 231, 1 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But when it had to have it, they got it. They did a great job of pressuring Sam Darnold all night, flustered him. 18 of 41, $166, was sacked twice, no touchdowns, no interception. What do you like about what you saw?
Listen, AG called a hell of a game. You said it. He called one hell of a game. Obviously, keeping Sam Darnold off script, making him uncomfortable, not allowing him to settle in and find rhythm with Addison, goddamn Jefferson, Hawkinson. Obviously, Jared Goff not playing his best game tonight, but when he needed to make certain throws, he was able to make them. But Jahmyr Gibbs shouldered the load. He shouldered the load and did what he needed to do to carry the team. And that's what happened tonight. Most of the time, you would think, with it being a pass-happy league the way it is, outside of outside the Baltimore Ravens, you expect them to own a game using the run game. I didn't expect that from Detroit. I didn't expect it from Detroit. Not with just Gibbs. Maybe if Montgomery was there, we have your two-headed monster. But for them to be able to do it with Gibbs and him to run crazy the way he did tonight, what he had? 161, 170?
No, he had 23 carries, $139. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground, and he had 1 touchdown through the air. So Gibbs had 4 total touchdowns. It was my mistake. 23 for $139, 3 rushing touchdowns, and he caught a 4th and goal on a Texas route. Yeah. He loves that little Texas route where he starts them out and he angles it back in. Some people call it angle. Some people call it Texas. We called it Texas. But we also had an angle route. He was sensational tonight. You can understand why he's going to the Pro Bowl, representing the NFC running backs in the Pro Bowl, Ocho, because he was sensational. It's Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Josh Jacobs represent the AFC at the running back position in the Pro Bowl. But this was a running game. This was the running attack. And that defense, having Anzalone, I think that's how you say his name back. He was back after breaking his forearm. He had the picture on, I think it was on IG or Twitter, where he showed all the staples that was in his arm. He came back. He added a spark, a juice to that, and they did a great job. They did a great job of limiting Jefferson. They did a great job of harassing Sam Darnold all night. Sam Darnold did not look good tonight. That goes a lot to that Detroit defense. Even though they're injured, the one thing I love about Dan Campbell, he does not make excuses, and he does not give his team the ability to make excuses because he says it doesn't matter who's out there. I expect my team to go out there and play very, very well, and they've done just that. And by doing that tonight, they sew up home field advantage throughout. As long as they win, you're going to have to go through Detroit in order to get to New Orleans. 31-9 over Minnesota, Detroit. We saw this thing building. The year before, I think they won like their last 6 or 7 games, and you saw it building. Last year, they got a kind of little slow start, but they picked it up, got all the way to the NFC Championship game. If I'm not mistaken, had like a 17-7 lead at half and kind of squandered that thing away. But this year, knowing and learning from what transpired last year, Ocho, this looks like an improved team. This looks like a team that's hungry. They have something to prove. That's a dangerous man. That's a dangerous team. When you have something to prove and you go out there and do it week in and week out, and you have to be impressed with what you saw from Detroit.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, not only impressed with what we saw from Detroit, not in this game, just but what we've seen from them all season. What Dan
Mm-hmm.
Campbell's been able to do for the culture, in Detroit and for that locker room and that franchise and coming in with the attitude that he has. Everybody was laughing at him when he first got there. Talk about he gonna bite on kneecaps.
Mm-hmm.
Making jokes. We laughing at and not knowing, not understanding. Listen, in what, a 4 year span?
Mm-hmm.
Franchise is completely turned around. It's
Yes.
no, it's no longer a laughing stock, So now, based on what he's been able to do, obviously getting the right pieces around him, and Jared Goff and some of the other fellas, Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, Jamison Williams, Mon-Ra St. Brown, and some defensive players. Brian Branch, one of the best in the game. Dude, they are Super Bowl contenders now in such a short span.
The thing is that it only matters. 15-2 is great, and I don't want to minimize that.
Right.
But when it matters, can you be 15-2? Because now it's 0-0.
Yeah.
You have to play your best in order to advance. Mm-hmm. You can't turn the ball over like you did today and expect to beat these teams.
No.
You pay double for turnovers come playoff time. Mm-hmm. And Detroit's going to have to, and Goff is going to have to play better. I believe he will. But Jahmyr Gibbs, they leaned heavily on Gibbs. He's so explosive. I mean, he hit a crease, and he's a threat to hit his head on the goalpost.
Yep, bye-bye.
He was sensational tonight. They need it. Amon-Ra St. Brown came up with big third down catch after big third down catch. So did Laporta. J-Mo had a couple of big catches in there, and that's what you have to do. You have to stay on the field on third down. Because the more, that wears on the defense. Yeah. The more you stay on the field and pick up those third downs, because all you want to do is get to the third down defense. Let's get on the third down. Let's get off the field. Well, damn, we got them at third down, man. Man, we got them 3rd and 8. We got them 3rd and 12. Mm-hmm. Damn, they got another first down. They got another first down. And if you see, all of a sudden, when the levee broke, you see Ocho, it went 17-24, third, bam, just like that.
Up on you.
Just like that, when the levee burst, it was over. And there was nothing Minnesota could do. So congratulations to the Detroit Lions. Detroit, stand up. You have a potential Super Bowl team. They get a week off. I saw Kevin Zeitler, I think that's the guard, that ended up tweaking his hamstring. That's probably why you see Pierce, we talked about Big Man getting that interception yesterday, Ocho. Yeah. You see Big Man pull that thing up. He's like, nah, that's too far to run. I haven't run that far in 20 years. Ain't no sense in me trying to do that now. Ain't no sense in me trying to do it now. Congratulations, Detroit. 31-9 over Minnesota, 15-2. Detroit, number 1 seed in the NFC. Minnesota, 14-3. Now they head on the road. They will face the LA Rams, which lost today to Seattle. Had they won, they would have been 3 seed. They lost. They're the 4 seed. Tampa is now the 3 seed. Tampa's the 3 seed, and they'll face who does Tampa face? Green Bay? No. Tampa faced Washington. Green Bay faces the 2 seed, the Eagles.
Oh yeah, ooh, that's gonna be a
Tampa
good one.
beat the Commanders opening day, 37-20 if I'm not mistaken. So the Commanders are at home against Tampa. Green Bay, right?
Commanders play at Bucks. Vikings play at Rams.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. Right. So there we have it. Ocho, there have been multiple teams that have expressed interest in trading for the Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, who's in the final year of his contract and has had no extension talks per Dre Glazer. Multiple teams have had him on their boards. That would be, for me, that seems foolish that Minnesota would trade the guy that's done so much for you over the last couple of years. They missed the playoffs last year because a lot of that had to do with JJ got injured early, got nicked. And you remember Cousins towards Achilles.
Yeah.
The previous year they went to the playoffs. Last year they missed the playoffs. They had some injuries. This year, 14-3, they're back in the playoffs.
Right.
That seems really, really foolish. That you got a young head coach that seems to be the right guy for the job, and you're willing to trade him for what, draft picks?
I'm not sure.
I don't like it. I don't know what you want. Let me hear what you feel about it.
I mean, I don't understand what management is doing. I don't understand what ownership is doing. Obviously, you have a coach like that. Obviously, he's getting the most out of his players, a young coach at that, and putting the franchise in a position where they're in contention every year. They're in contention every year. I don't think, I mean, Minnesota would understand how difficult it is. Ownership would understand how difficult it is to get to the record they are right now as far as consistency goes, year in and year out. Obviously, some injuries happened that prevented them from going last year, but it just makes no sense why those talks hadn't been had already. Maybe they are going to take care of him, you know, when the offseason hits, but right now they're allowing Coach O'Connell to focus on. You got your robe on the wrong way.
Whoa, Ocho, don't mind me. You keep talking.
Okay,
you
yeah.
worried about what I got my robe? That's me.
I know. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm assuming they probably want to work on something to allow Coach to focus on the rest of the season and trying to get to New Orleans instead of having contract talks in the middle of the playoffs. So hoping it only makes sense that you take care of a coach that's had the type of success he's had since he's been there.
Kevin O'Connell is in the final year of his contract next season. So he coached this year. So coming up the next season,
he got one more.
He got one more. He's in the final season.
Oh, so they do. So hey, listen. Now this is new to me. This is new to me. Now you know how players have a year on their deal, so they treat coaches the same way when they have a year left.
They could look. It's not unknown. John Gruden got traded for 2 number ones and $8 million in cash from the Raiders to Tampa. Coach Belichick went for a number 1 from the Jets to the Patriots.
Right.
Herm Edwards got traded from the Jets to the Kansas City. So this is not unprecedented.
Okay.
This is not uncharted territory that we see coaches get traded for draft compensation. Sean Payton got traded from New Orleans to the Broncos. He went for a first round draft pick.
Right.
So this is not uncharted territory, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Considering, Sean Payton, he retired, he retired. And so clearly he didn't want to be there. So let's get something for it. And Tampa's like, y'all want John Gruden that bad? Cost you 2 first round picks at $8 million. The Glazier family said they gladly obliged. It paid off. They won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Coach Belichick, the greatest trade. Hey, the Jets got a first round pick for Coach Belichick. I think it worked out for the Patriots. Not so well for the Jets, but it worked out very well for the Patriots. So they got 6 championships out of that coach. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Coach Herm had some mixed results. He didn't win a championship there, but he had some mixed results. But I think it worked out very well for some of the coaches that got traded for draft compensation. I think everything went very well for the team that gave up the draft picks. But it doesn't make sense to me to do it. If the Vikings lose to the Rams next week, they'd be 0-4 versus the Rams and the Lions this year, 14-0 against every other team. So they've lost twice to Detroit.
Right.
They've lost once to the Rams. And if they lose again, they'd be 0-4 against the Rams and Detroit. So obviously the Rams did not play all their guys today. I think Puka was out. Stafford was out. So there were a couple of guys that did not play today. But I was happy for Geno because Geno had a lot of incentives.
Oh, yeah.
10 wins, $2 million. Completion percentage, he met that. Have better stats than he had last year. So he picked up a quick $6 million. I'm happy for Geno. Thought he got a bum rap in
New York.
the Jets, but I'm glad, Geno, you found a home. Congratulations, bro. You're playing really, really well.